Christian, do you believe the gospel? Now, you might think that's a strange question if I call you a Christian. Obviously, I've believed the gospel. I have heard the good news of salvation from my sins through the work of Christ on the cross. But you see, there's a problem. For many Christians, the gospel is something that happened in the past, good news about how they were made right with God, saved from sin. But the problem is, the gospel then becomes like a great book that we read, but place on the shelf, out of sight and out of mind. And what happens as we forget the gospel, the good news that we are accepted with God through the work of Christ on the cross, vindicated by his resurrection from the dead, when we forget that, then the life that we live as Christians becomes duty-bound. It becomes performance, and we begin to feel or think sometimes that God's love toward us is earned by our performance and our goodness. The danger of this is that it leads to discouragement and sadness, uncertainty, and we begin to feel that God does not love us. Friends, the gospel is good news, not just when we were sinners, not just when we first believed, but the gospel is the good news that we need as Christians every day. Over the last few weeks at Valley Chapel, we've been considering the good news of the gospel for sinners, but also for saints. And this week we're going to be considering, as we conclude our series on the gospel, Paul's testimony to the power of God's grace in his life. Not only the grace that saved him, but also the grace that worked powerfully in him. And this is the same grace that you and I need as Christians day in and day out. So I hope that you can join us this Sunday as we consider the power of the gospel, the good news of what Christ accomplished on our behalf, and how that good news informs us, empowers us, grows our love for Christ and our walk with him every day. I hope you can join us this Sunday, 10:30 at Valley Chapel Community Church.